Hey everybody, this is the Esoteric Cross. I make videos about how to gain your personal power while learning ancient secrets, and if that sounds like something that you're into, please hit the like button and subscribe and gain insight from this perspective in the cosmos. In this video, we're going to talk more about the different uses of tarot, because it's so commonly used for divination. These cards were created in the 1400s to be used as a card game for the elite, and the structure of the deck implies that there's a connection with the Kabbalistic tree of life. Eventually, people began using these cards for divinatory purposes. The most popularized tarot deck is the Rider-Waite deck, and this came about in the early 1900s. They were designed by Arthur Waite and his artist Pamela Colman Smith. Waite was in the Order of the Golden Dawn, which practices ceremonial magic. Within ceremonial magic, you work with the four elements, the planetary energies, and you work with the Kabbalistic tree of life. You work with zodiacal energies and so much more. One intention for these cards was to be worked with by a Golden Dawn initiate. Understanding the path of ceremonial magic and understanding the Kabbalistic tree of life really offers massive new insights on these cards. We'll talk about the path and the relationships of these cards in my tarot course, which you can check out in the link in the description below if you're interested. Let's dive into how these cards work. There's so much symbolism within each card, and each part of the design is very intentional. This can be colors, where things are placed within the cards, what direction in which the figure is looking or where they're pointing, or even the number of certain objects that are within the card. Each of these things should be meditated on when learning tarot. It's impossible to get it all right away, but this is a practice that grows over time. You'll always be learning new things about these cards and have new revelations if you keep working with them. These cards work by drawing things out of your subconscious mind via the symbolism. Our subconscious does not use words to communicate, it uses feelings, intentions, ceremonial events, and symbolism. This is also why performing ceremonial magic is so effective. The shapes, geometry, and lines have resonant energy. I talked a little bit about this in my sigils video, but I'll give a recap. Every object in the universe has a resonant energy. Even simple geometric formations, lines, curves, and depths. All of it will have an effect on your subconscious mind. One example I gave before is that if you see someone who's very attractive, there's not much conscious thought about it. You are attracted to them on a subconscious level. You can't really control who you're attracted to. Also notice that what attracts you to them on a physical level is the shape of them. Maybe it's the curves, lines, angles, the symmetry, the color of hair, or the skin. Some people are even attracted to cartoon drawings. This is just an easy and basic example for me to explain this, but this goes way deeper than attraction. Looking at symbols will have a very profound impact on the subconscious mind, because these symbols have a resonant energy and can be suggesting something to us that bypasses our conscious thought. This is why companies work hard to get the right logos. They use the right colors, shapes, and other forms of symbolism to make their product very attractive. When we examine the tarot cards, we find that the symbolism is designed to bring forth something that is in our subconscious. This is truly a way of making the unconscious conscious. This is why tarot works so well for divination. If you have a question about whether you should go back to school or find a different job, maybe you ask the question and draw some cards out. Looking into the symbolism might pull a truth out from your unconscious. You are becoming aware of what you truly want and what you really think is in your best interest. I believe that we're all connected and we come into contact with the right people and situations at the right time. We are like mirrors for each other because our underlying awareness behind our consciousness is the same. I think that when you give a reading for someone, your awareness and subconscious is connecting with their awareness and their subconscious, and you have a message that is meant for them to hear at that time. Tarot is a powerful tool for nosis. Nosis is really about the knowledge of self. The point of the occult, hermeticism, and esoteric philosophies is for you to know yourself. This is not in a typical finding yourself kind of way that we go through as we become adults, though that may be a part of it. This is definitely not about trying to find and build your identity by getting interested in the occult. Knowing the self is about knowing how consciousness works, how the unconscious becomes conscious, knowing how the ego works, knowing how other people work, knowing how what we call God or the universe works. knowing how creation works, knowing how destruction works. Gnosis is about learning the secrets of the universe, understanding them, and embodying them. These cards can be used for that purpose because they are about drawing out these truths from your subconscious. The lack of knowledge that you may experience is only because that unconsciousness has not been made conscious yet. There is nothing new under the sun. All of the answers are already within you if you're able to get out of your own way. One of the best ways that we can get out of our own way is by disidentifying with our psychological self and through meditation. By doing this and meditating on these cards, new wisdoms can pop out from our subconscious. What this is doing is shining the light of awareness on something that would have likely continued to stay unconscious until you did this process. We want to take time to meditate on each of these cards. We can do this by not focusing on one specific spot within the card, but observing the card as a whole. You can focus your gaze on the outline of the card and get into a meditative state. When you do this and sit in this awareness for a moment, things might start to pop out for you. You may have your own meaning or interpretations for what these things mean, or it may trigger you to do some more research about that particular symbolism. And there may be different interpretations for what you see. I've noticed that I piece together certain information by meditating on the tarot cards based off of my involvement in ceremonial magic and Cabal. Other people within the tarot course that I teach have had different information from their backgrounds and knowledge, such as yoga, alchemy, and their interest in other areas of symbolism. When you study different things like magic, Freemasonry, Kabbalah, astrology, alchemy, sacred geometry, numerology, or even philosophy or psychology, you will uncover more pieces of the story of tarot. I highly recommend blending your knowledge in another field with your study and meditations on tarot. The side of tarot that I teach really has to do with the connection to Kabbalah and ceremonial magic. Understanding Kabbalah and tarot together is a powerful way to understand the meanings of the cards, use them in readings, and use them for self-development, obtaining gnosis, and using them in magic. Let's take a moment and look at the Kabbalistic tree of life. On this tree of life, we have 22 paths running between the spheres, and we also have 22 cards in the major arcana. We have 10 spheres on the tree called Sephirot, with the exception of Da'ath, which is a hidden sphere, and it does not count as a Sephira. These spheres are different aspects of God, aspects of our consciousness, or aspects of creation. We start from the awareness and source of consciousness, Kether, which means crown, and this light of awareness is filtered all the way down into Malkuth, which means kingdom. Malkuth represents the 3D physical reality. Everything in between is like the way consciousness is filtered down into this reality, or the way consciousness creates reality. There are 4 worlds of Kabbalah, and this represents the 4 worlds of manifesting. This is how the universe creates, and it's also how we create. Each world is represented by a different element. This is what the 4 suits of tarot is really about. Each world of Kabbalah has its own tree with the 10 Sephirot. Each suit of tarot has 10 cards, and these are the 10 Sephirot of that world of Kabbalah. Each suit has 4 court cards, and they represent the 4 worlds of Kabbalah within that world of Kabbalah. Understanding the tree really expands the knowledge on how creation happens, and this knowledge can aid you in your own manifestations. Not only can you meditate on each card and make what is unconscious conscious, but you can also use the card to program the subconscious mind or use the card to program your magic. There are so many ways of doing this, and I suggest getting creative. The most powerful and effective magic that I've performed in my life was the type of magic that I got really creative with. You can perform rituals with the intention of your manifestation and collapse all of the energy that you've built up into the tarot card and light a candle in front of it with an intention to release that energy. Another thing you can do is focus on the tarot card, memorize the image, and perform an invoking ritual, and make this card appear before you during your invocation. You can charge the image of the card that you've made with the divine names of God the same way that you charge your pentagrams or your hexagrams. There's so many ways that you can use these within magic, and if you want to learn more about ceremonial magic, I highly suggest checking out my other videos like What is High Magic or Building Your Pyramid in Magic. You can also check out some books on ceremonial magic, but I recommend using energy work when you're doing your rituals. Both the Kabbalistic Tree of Life and Tarot can represent the path from being uninitiated into becoming initiated within magic. This lays out the process and the path of magic. I wanted to make this video to really drive home the point that tarot is so much more than just divination. Studying tarot is a powerful way to understand the self, the universe, the process of creation, and it can also aid you in your magical journey. If you're interested in learning more about tarot, I'm accepting enrollments at this time for the tarot course that I created. Classes start on July 16th and we'll go over the symbolism, how to read the cards, and also the relationships of these cards with the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, which is something that most courses in tarot won't offer. Make sure to check out the link in the description if you're interested. I also offer one-on-one coaching for beginning ceremonial magic. We discuss rituals regarding the 4 elements, connecting with higher states of consciousness. If you're just starting out your journey in magic, feel free to set up a session with me. Check out the link in the description below for more information, as well as to where you can book a tarot reading with me. If you want access to exclusive content and live streams, the link to my Patreon is also in the description. I hope there was something new that you were able to take away from this video. If so, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.